Hi guys, welcome. We are in Centro Flamenco and it's located at 2083 Alma Street, actually West 4th. It's right on the corner of West 4th and Alma, and it is owned and operated by Rosario Anser, who is an amazing woman. And so this is where I am Tuesday nights, and I take flamenco, and it is just a fabulous experience. And so because many of you have asked me time and time again about my dance and my music and how I've incorporated the two, I decided to bring you in and have you take a peek at a little bit of my dance experience here. So I want you to meet my teacher, Bonnie, because Bonnie's fantastic. So let me go get her, and we're gonna have a chat with her, okay? So stick around, don't go anywhere. We'll see you soon. I had somebody ask me, when will you be done flamenco? When will you be graduated? And I said, well, flamenco is the most difficult dance in the world, and it takes years. And they said, well, then why on earth would you take it if you'll never graduate? I said, well, the time passes by anyway. So you can do things that you don't like because they're quick and easy, or you can actually invest the time that's going to pass anyway doing what you love. And so this is only, I think, my second year in flamenco, and I adore it. And I am nowhere near as talented as our teacher, Bonnie. And Bonnie has studied flamenco for over 20 years. And I must tell you, she is spectacular. And if I can dance half as well as she does, I will be a success. So I'd like to introduce you to Bonnie, our teacher.
I'm Bonnie Stewart, and I've been doing flamenco for about 20 years. For me, it was another dance form to do. I started dancing when I was 7 with tap, ballet, and I've done jazz, contemporary, and Hawaiian, and it was just another form to try. And I love the castanets, and I got swept away by the glamour and the costumes and the flowers and the earrings and the passion of it all. I was brought up on the Sunshine Coast. That's where I started my dance lessons, and we were lucky enough to get whatever teachers would come up to the coast. So Jeanine Cambort, Marie Gracie, they all took from Kay Armstrong, who was doing bits of folk, Spanish folk dance like jota and things like that, and they also took from Teo Morca, who was teaching flamenco in Bellingham. So along with the tap, the ballet, the jazz, everything else, they taught us like sevillanas and jota. Jota was one of the first things I learned, and it's a lot of jumping. Your arms are like this and you're playing castanets and jumping around.
She makes us do this.
It is.
We're still doing this.
And it's a very endurance dance. And so I started learning castanets at 11, and from there I found Rosario when I was about 18. A friend of mine, Karen Boothroyd, was taking from Rosario, and so she's like, you got to try this class, this is fabulous, phenomenal. And it was the second year Rosario had been teaching in Vancouver, and so I was hooked. I just got hooked. And
Rosario is a very pure traditional form of flamenco.
Pure form of flamenco, and I've been with her for 20 years. I teach now for her studio, Centro Flamenco. I've also, she's encouraged us to go and study in Spain as well. I've also studied in Spain, in Jerez and Sevilla, and been to the flamenco festivals there and taken from a variety of fabulous teachers as well. So you really, and it's one thing that's very cool, it's a world form. So you go and there's people that go that are always in a class from Japan or from the States or from France or from Germany, but you all speak that same language of flamenco. So it's the love of the dance. It's the love of the dance, and it's almost like when a festival's on, you could go in a grocery store and people are dancing because they're just come out of a class and they're trying to remember their steps. So it's like you're in a big flamenco musical or something. It's everywhere.
Next time we go to Choices or Whole Foods, we're going to break into flamenco by the produce section and start, and hopefully. Well, something that Bonnie also is involved in, and Rosario is fantastic for this because not only does she encourage her teachers to do things on world stages, but you're also dancing in town at Kino.
Yep.
And she also had Mis Hermanas, which is a production that Rosario had she had produced and had written the play about her own personal experiences growing up in a Latin family with her sisters on the dance. And so the teachers here at Centro, you each assumed
one of her sisters.
One of her sisters.
Yeah. Yeah,
tell us about, a bit about that show.
we each took on. She had us take on one of her sisters, so it wasn't just the dance. You were also doing a little bit of acting and things like that. And she remounted it last year, and she went to Mexico with it, which unfortunately I wasn't able to go. But it was a fabulous tour, and a fabulous show, which she won an award for. She won an award for. She developed everything. But yeah, I dance at Kino Cafe, another place, Chai, East is East, which is, in Vancouver as well, and Cafe Barcelona. So flamenco, since I started, has really grown here in Vancouver. When I started, there wasn't many places. Now it's sort of grown, and
definitely there's a greater awareness of it. There's a lot of schools now in the city, and there are fusions of flamenco, and they're mixing it, and I always like to say that they're making it easier for everyone else to catch on to it and introduce themselves to the form of dance, which is fabulous. But if you really want to study a true form, like this is why I study here at Centro, because Rosario is very loyal to that pure form of what is flamenco. And she's very, even when she comes in and checks our classes and our hands, and just our posture, she's very, she watches all those little details that really, that's what makes the dancer, are those fine little details.
Well, there's different steps too. It's not like you were saying before, it's not something you graduate from. It's a lot of aficionados, a lot of flamenco people, they describe it as it's a life art. It's something that you continue to study. And in Spain, the older you are, the more revered, the more respected you are at this art form, because it's all about sort of telling about your life and what you're learning, right? And there's steps to it that you just don't jump in head first to other things. There's so many different rhythms, and the rhythms are very complex. And we count, for example, we go all the way to 12 beats. We go to 8 beats as well, and we've got one that's a 5-beat rhythm, seguidillas. So they're very complex, very complicated, and you have to be really aware and really know what you're doing to be able to, one, perform, or to be able to keep going on with it. So we start small, and we start with simpler things, and simple arm movements, simple feet, and how the technique of how you move your body so you don't injure yourselves as well. It's very physical, it's very full body. You're not just using one part of your body, or if you're using your legs, you're keeping your center engaged and controlled, and same with the arms and everything. It's very, very physical, very like an endurance dance as well. So it's sort of steps. We take sort of graduated steps and different levels, and as you progress, you learn more and more and more, and take on more of the challenging things.
And you can actually work it in, for example, like my stage show. I've had a lot of people come up to me and send me emails, and they say, really enjoyed your stage performance, your dancing. Were you a professional dancer first, and then did you become a singer? Which I think is a fabulous compliment, because Bonnie has so much dance experience, and in different styles of dance, where for myself it was ballet, which I really didn't do very well. I don't listen to, I didn't want to do the bunny hop. And so there was ballet, but there was jazz, the Latin funk, and now the flamenco. And I find the flamenco somehow is the one that I'm incorporating the most. And again, with Bonnie's experience, she has been able to help me on numerous occasions work out little bits of choreography. And there was one show that I did for the Olympics, and we started out with Boulevard of Broken Dreams. And I mean, that's just an amazing jazz standard piece. And when we were doing it, because it was a tango, again, with Bonnie's dance experience, we were able to choreograph a little bit of an intro for that so I can come on stage. And it was so magnificent to have her to help me, because she's more than just a flamenco teacher. Her expertise goes way beyond that. And there's also a song that we do, Nature Boy, which is the 5 rhythm. Yeah. And so seguidillas usually don't have vocals, and we do a Nature Boy and a seguidilla with a vocal, which is really challenging to sing. But I understand the 5 count because I hear Bonnie in my head, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5. So it's really fantastic. But definitely, this is a fabulous, fabulous place to study flamenco. And I cannot stress enough how fantastic Rosario is, her direction, her focus, her passion that she has followed throughout her whole life. And her passion has brought the rest of us so much joy, and has offered, like Bonnie and the rest of the teachers, this way to show their talents. I mean, you're teaching, but you're dancing and not here, in Spain as well, on world stages. So this is a fantastic school in that way. It's really given everybody access to another world through Rosario's dream. So, magical stuff. Yes. Shall we dance?
Shall we dance?
We're going to dance. We're going to show you a little bit. Not a lot, because we want you to come in and study. Hi guys, I've just finished my fabulous flamenco class, so I am eating chocolate and sweating. I've got a glow on. What a fabulous class. I want to introduce you to some of my students. Why do you love flamenco? Tell us. What is it about it?
I love the feminine power. I love how intricate it is. I could study it for a lifetime and I wouldn't learn it all. And it's just fun. It doesn't have to make any sense in my life. But I just love it.
That's nice, that's well put. It's true, it's a very feminine dance. And because it is a feminine dance, it's interesting because we have a male in our class. Why do you take flamenco?
I started because Afifa, one of the instructors here, asked me to come see if I like it. And since I'm from Spain, I thought, why not? And it really requires a lot of discipline. And it lets you get in touch with every single part of your body. But overall it's a lot of fun. Once it comes out all together, it's a lot of fun.
Did you want to say anything on sure. Why you take flamenco?
I was first attracted to it from when I was a youth and I saw a flamenco show on TV, and what inspired me was the silhouettes of the girls in the bata de cola, and I thought, wow, that looks just so cool. And then as I got older and got what's the word I'm looking for? Introduced to it from a dance teacher in Alberta, I realized that it was a lot more to it than just looking good on stage. It was in fact a huge learning curve, and I'm always up for a challenge, and that's what I really like about it, is the challenging part of it and the passion behind it. It makes it worthwhile.
You know, it's interesting because when you were saying about the challenge and how you can study it for a lifetime and just never really know it, because flamenco is such a difficult dance, it is so beautiful to watch, and people don't realize the complexity and the footwork and the time and effort that goes into the dance itself. And it's crazy because I remember when I was a little girl, I used to watch the Spanish dancers on TV, and they looked just magical, and they were floating, and their feet were going, but their bodies were completely erect. And now that I'm taking the dance, I can barely walk after these classes. It's unbelievable what a workout it is. And some of the teachers have studied for 15 and 16 years, and they claim that they feel they know nothing. You know, contrary to our opinions, of course, we think they're beautiful and they're magnificent, including our teacher, Bonnie. But, you know, again, it's the years and the time and the effort, the energy that goes into the study of the dance, which is why not so many people take it. And that's what makes it so special.